Welcome you all. We are here with another topic, and that is coherence and cohesion in discourse analysis. This topic is from the Contents and Introduction to Linguistics Semester 2. Here we are going to make differences between these two terminologies. Those are coherence and cohesion in discourse analysis. So without a further ado, let's get started on today's topic. Here, coherence and cohesion. When we talk about coherence, we are talking about the text, and it is actually concerned with text, and cohesion is concerned with sentence. So cohesion is in sentence and coherence is in text. As it is there, when we talk about coherence, we are talking about the whole text. And when we talk about cohesion, we are talking about the individual sentences or structures of language in the text. Coherence, the ways a text makes sense to reader and writer through relevance and acceptability of its configuration of concepts, ideas, and theories. In a very simple way, coherence is actually how a text makes sense. How, when we are talking about the concepts, ideas, theories, are actually given into the text. However, when we talk about cohesion, the grammatical and lexical relationship between different elements of a text which hold it together. How the lexical items or words are actually in the text are connected, or how grammatical structures are there, whether the sentences are in order and according to the grammatical structure. So when we talk about coherence, it is grammar in discourse. And when we talk about cohesion, it is grammar in sentence. Here we are going to talk about coherence. It is taken from the Latin word cohere, which means to stick together. In wide sense, coherence is semantic structure which helps to unite several sentences into a holistic text. So when we talk about holistic text, it means considering as a whole. So here in a wide sense, when we talk about coherence, it is actually concerned with semantic structure. What are the meanings of the words and how the text is actually connected according to its meaning, or the concept which is there into the text. Is it clear? Is it according to the meaning or concept or theory or whatever it is expressed? In narrow sense, coherence is the connection brought about by readers or listeners' knowledge that helps his or her to understand any given discourse. Example as through the knowledge of context in which discourse is unfolding. Coherence has to do with mental processes and cultural knowledge rather than any explicit discourse markers such as linking words. So, in a narrow sense, when we talk about coherence, here we are talking about the knowledge which a reader or listener is getting. We are talking about the knowledge in context, whether it is according to the context or how it is folded into the discourse. This is the definition given by Busman 1998. For example, when we talk about the meaning and context, how it is there. Tom, may I have some more? Helen, yes, of course, anytime you want more, you just go ahead. Things are not explicit, but it could be understood through context of the situation and through individual experience. Thus, the text is coherent. So here is actually the discussion of Tom and Helen, and they are talking about something as they know, and they understand, or the text could be understood through the context. So here, when we talk about coherence, we are talking that the text makes sense or it does not. When we talk about cohesion, it is also called formal links. Formal links between sentences and clauses are known as cohesive devices. So cohesion exactly is actually the uses of clauses or the words into the text and within the sentences. So there are so many formal links or cohesive devices we talk about are the grammatical items we use. For example, number one, verb. Number two, parallelism. Number three, referring expressions. We talk about reputation and lexical chain. We talk about substitution. Number six, ellipsis. Number seven, connectives, conjunctions, adverbs, and prepositions. So let's discuss all the areas of cohesion. Number one, verb form. Cohesion is attained in a piece of discourse by the forms of the verbs used. The form of verb in one sentence limits the choice of verbs form in the next, depending on a time frame to which the piece of discourse touches. The verbs used in it need to conform to particular tense. For example, when we talk about this discourse or this context, a Mars, right? Who is going to arrange the transport? Well, someone's gotta do it. Therefore, I am not going to Mars. Come on, will you? So here you see this conversation. Mars and Rafi, they both are actually talking about something which is in present continuous tense. So if one speaker he uses present continuous, the other uses the same. So this is how we are talking about when we talk about whether the text has cohesion. We look at the verb forms within the text or into the sentences. Here is another area which we are going to discuss, and that is parallelism. Parallelism means that the similar parts of a sentence have the same structure. Nouns are with nouns, verbs are with verbs, and phrases are with phrases. For example, the professor was beautiful, moving, and it inspired. Now you see, this is non-parallelism. It is not parallelized. How it would be parallelized? It would be parallel if we use this sentence. The professor was beautiful, moving, and inspiring. So you see, we are supposed to use all adjectives when we talk about the similar kinds of words into the parts of a speech. So this is exactly parallelism in sentence. Here we are going to make drill non-parallelism. Their son loved chess, video games, and to play saucer. So it would be parallel. Their son loved playing chess, video games, and saucer. So this is how we have made this parallelism. Non-parallelism, Rihan likes cake, apple, and eating snake. So it would be parallel, or here is the parallelism. Rehan likes cake, apple, and snake. So this is how we are going to make parallelism into the sentences when we talk about cohesion. Here is the third area we are going to discuss, and that is referring expressions. The meanings of some words can be decoded only by referring to other words or elements of the context which are clear to both the speaker and listener. The most obvious example of this are third person pronouns. She, her, hers, herself, or when we say he, him, his, himself, it, its, itself. So these are a couple of obvious referring words we use in the sentences. Sometimes more than a knowledge of the meaning of words is necessary to decipher the meanings of referring expressions. So sometimes more than knowledge we talk about or we do have referring item in our mind which we refer. A referring expression is any expression used in utterance to refer to something or someone, or clearly delimited collection of things or people. It is used with a particular referent in mind. So here is the concept how we are interpreting the things from our mind. When we talk about reference or signifier, we say, for example, the word apple is a signifier or reference. It means to say the referent as the object of an apple, that is called signified. So this is exactly when we talk about referring expressions, we do have pictures in our mind, the word which refer to something. Here is an example of referring expressions. For example, these two people are discussing each other, and here he talks about that Fred looked for you, Mr. Smith. The speaker has a particular person in mind. When he said Fred, Fred is a referring expression. So Fred is the referring expression which is in someone's mind. Or for example, here is another example for the same situation. So the person, he says, a man was in here looking for you last night, Mr. Smith. So you see, the speaker has a particular person in mind when he says a man. A man in his utterance is a referring expression. So when we say a man, he is actually referring to some other person. So this is what we say referring expressions in a cohesion. Here is actually the fourth area we are going to discuss in cohesion, that is repetition and lexical chain. Repetition of same words or ideas are used to keep reader focused on main point. The same sort of link as pronouns can be created by the repetition of words. Native speakers are, however, often discouraged from repeating the same word as it is considered bad style. What is encouraged is elegant repetition, where synonyms or more general words, phrases are used. So when we talk about the repetition of words into the text, that is actually known as bad style. Sometimes we use synonyms or other phrases and words in the same place. For example, dice the mangoes into large cubes. Arrange the diced mango cubes on a plate in any pattern you like. Pour whipped cream over the diced mango cubes. Such lexical chain can also consist of words which associate with each other by virtue of some formal semantic connection. So here you see we have used the word again and again. For example, four legs good, two legs bad. So here we have used the same structure having repetition of words. What is substitution? Another type of cohesive device is the substitution of one word with another. For example, we are using the substitution or words despite the words we already have used. For example, Shahid, which shirt shall I wear today? Wajiha, the maroon one. Shahid, you also like that one then? Wajiha, yes, I do. I think it suits you better. Shahid, I think so too. Here we could see clearly that Shahid and Wajiha, they are actually making substitutions of the word shirt. First time the word is used shirt, then despite of shirt, Wajiha has used maroon one, and again Shahid has used that one, and Wajiha repeatedly using another substitution it. So this is actually the substitution we use when we talk about cohesion, and this is a better option, a better structure in language. Here is another part, we say ellipsis in cohesion. Sometimes it is not necessary to provide a substitution for a word phrase which has already been mentioned. It is simply omitted. but can be reconstructed quite successfully. So what happens sometimes, we do not use the substitutions or substituted words. We sometimes think better to omit the word. So omitting part of a sentence on the assumption that an earlier sentence or context will make the meaning clear is known as ellipsis. So when we omit the words into the text, and we do not think that this is better to repeat or give the substitution. So exactly this omission or this omitting part, we may say, uh, ellipsis in cohesion. Ellipsis is also referring or referred to as substitution by zero. For example, Zubeda, have you been shopping, girls? What did you buy on your shopping spree? Zia, I bought jewelry, and Z bought clothes. Z, clothes? You already have more than enough. And you bought more clothes. You see here the words are given in brackets, as in first sentence, Zubeda, she talks about and she omits the word shopping, and Zia omits the word bought, and again Z uh, omits the words clothes two times into the sentences. So this omission is called ellipsis in cohesion. Here is another part, we may call it conjunction in cohesion. Conjunctions are another type of cohesive device. They draw explicit attention to the type of relation which exists between one sentence clause and another. For example, first, peel and clean the potatoes, then bake them. A conventional oven is best. However, a microwave oven will also do. Potatoes burn easily, so make sure you keep a close watch on the timer. So this is how we are going to use conjunctions into the sentences, and this is the part of cohesion. Thanks for attention. Thank you very much. Hopefully this would be very helpful for all of you.